А звук? А звук есть, блядь, потому что обновление ёбаного ОБС. Я все-таки решил сделать, а он мне все опять скинул. Блядский ОБС. Короче. Что я говорил, я вернулся. Я снова здесь. Снова с техническими шоколадками. Ой. Ну, это на самом деле хорошо, потому что я кринжанул дико, когда начал стрим. Так что спасибо, что никто этого не слышал. Ой. Я уже ничего не помню по этой игре. Да, надо было, я согласен. Чтобы я весь стрим просто открывал рот. Так. Можете спать после 21:00. Здорово. Что делать? А все-таки могу его использовать. Меня не обманули. Понюхай журнал. Точно нету звука игры? Ты не клянешься? Здесь так. 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 Вот так. Сейчас проверим все. Проверим все. Проверим все. Все, оно теперь будет вечно это говорить. Да ладно. Сейчас слышно?
You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
Какому именно?
Remember when I said the smell of the upstairs bathroom was so rank they should have sent a poet to describe it?
Сказал бы дополненные цитрусовыми минутками средства для чистки унитазов. Сучья дочь. А вот так вот если. Двоится именно звук мой, моего голоса или игры? Так. Еще раз послушаю.
Why, yes it is, among many other things. This cleaning tablet is used by the whirling in rags. Perhaps that's where the ledger was dropped in the toilet. By you.
Еще ночью сказал, что сейчас терапия, возможно, там журнал выбросили в унитаз, ты выбросил. Ага, понял, выбросил журнал. Пролистать белые страницы.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
Ну так меня получше. Тише меня теперь слышно. Я могу еще убавить. Ну, давайте игру прибавим чутка. Вот так вот. Густо спасибо. Очень синий чернила, пересекают корольные разводом целая страница.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
В чем эти записи?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
Привет, Настя. Да, решили. Да,
The
стримим.
middle of March, you have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
2 дела в неделю. Ебать, я машина работы.
What do you mean? Is that all?
Это все?
The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more.
2 дела в неделю, это нормально, загружусь, лейтенант?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
Кажется, я брал по 2 дела в неделю, но не уверен, что раскрыл их.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
Я наверняка наделал немало ошибок.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Сука, я хочу дружить с Кимом.
Like
Любой
a fan
ценой.
of girls, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Сука, почему меня гнобят на моем же стриме? Что происходит? Просто 2 хейтера зашли.
It's inornate, nearly illegible, yet marching in orderly lines. Pedagogical, somehow. Brash. It must be yours for you to be able to read it. These are the lines of someone who has written by hand a lot and has developed a style only they themselves, or you yourself, can decipher.
Я прекрасен. Друзья у меня какие-то неприятные, подлые.
Your hand cramps up merely looking at the scribbles drawn, as by some magnet, to the red checkered margins. Fast, but always straight.
Была речь о каких-то принципах наименования.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Ой, они все написаны заглавными буквами.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
А еще?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement, murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Какие мои дела, кажется, имеют какой-то принцип наименования.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
Нет, я имею в виду не цифровой с заголовками.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Я не знаю, наверное, да. Наверное, меняет ход игры каждый мой выбор. А почему?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Кажется, я назвал одно из дел «Квадратная пуля».
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
Что с ним случилось?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Понял. Мне нужно официально открыть дело. Мне нужно официально открыть дело. Есть еще место?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Сложите в письменном виде, используя ручку, которую дала тебе Лена.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Почему то, что уже сделано?
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Вот у меня вопрос. Вот у меня 3 духа. Я вот... Мне хилку, наверное, стоит приберечь, когда я буду терять хпшку, чтобы хилиться, когда у меня будет уже поменьше здоровья. Потому что есть всякие ивенты, которые восстанавливают мне энергию. Чтобы они не 0 мне давали, а все-таки иногда восстанавливали что-то. Это имеет смысл? Мой план хорош или какой-то... Лейтенант, ты случайно не давал название нашему делу?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Говно на палке. Повешенный.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Отлично, Ким. Брат.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Я изучался.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Окей, понял. Хилки прожимать сразу не будем. Мы справимся. Могу теперь знакомиться с делом.
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120117000, the next world mural.
На меня выебываться будет, потом получит. Знаете. Я выбрал путь человека. Каждый выбирает свой путь. И в конце мой герой будет таким, каким он должен быть. Потому что каждый становится таким, каким он хочет. Поняли меня? Стоп, ГДБ 41. Разве это не код офицер участок?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
1. А ГДБ?
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Курдебик Бренджер.
That is improbable.
Времени займет ознакомление сделан.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
А, ну это все это потом. Вернусь к этому позже.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Представим желтые странички.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
Какие есть типы?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Что-то нарушение общественного порядка.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. But they appear pleasantly vague.
Повестка.
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute.
Открытие на
A
месте.
dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
Достаточно.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Что еще? Материалы дела. все здорово. Тайник.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Что означает вариант «убейся нахер, ублюдок»? Я дико извиняюсь. Закрыть.
It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult.
Так, хорошо. Читайте водяные знаки. Встаньте в свете фар Немо, чтобы почитать галлюгеновые водяные знаки на своем журнале. Так, надо включить фары.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Caprice Kinema motor carriage.
Открыть дверь.
In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A scent of leatherwork and heavy fuel oils washes over you.
Ким, как включить фары?
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
Нажать запуск.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Kinema comes to life, like a leopard waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time.
Нажать кнопку фары.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Так.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Смотреть на мерцающую сетку
The
улиц.
rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kinema's headlights.
Подождать, смотреться вокруг.
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
Где мы на этой штуке?
Let me see. Right here.
Я наверняка видел места и похуже.
Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
Смотреть перфорацию.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Считай дырочки в каждом ряду.
The first row has 18 dots.
Недурно.
Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet.
А в следующем?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Считать каждую дырочку.
You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice, large number, a wave of pride washes over you. Though you can't say why, precisely.
А что в последнем ряду?
The last row has 3 perforations. As you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times.
Уже это что-то, что я делал раньше.
And something you'll do again before this is all over.
Слушай, Кима, для чего тут столько дырочек?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant.
Альфа-самцы, yeah.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Я занимаюсь уже 18 лет.
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Я ебу, что я делал в эти 18 лет. Наверное, работал в какой-нибудь конторе, перебрал бумажки, все остальные.
No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we?
Нет, мне кажется, он не пил. Мне кажется, он до этого был каким-то офигенно крутым детективом, полицейским, но потом что-то случилось, и он спился из-за этого. Думаю, такая теория у меня. Заткнитесь. Я не сори, коп. Заткнитесь.
This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200.
200, но я говорю, я точно был гением. 216, если быть точным.
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Я был хорош, тоже в этом есть какое-то утешение. Ну а что значит последняя цифра?
You know the answer already. The tingle in your index finger gave it away.
Мои подтвержденные убийства. 3 штуки.
That's right. How did you know?
Я почувствовал, как дергается указательный палец.
Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain responses even when conscious memory has been, let's say, misplaced. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Кем тебе когда-нибудь приходилось убивать?
Yes.
Ты справляешься с напряжением?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Какие?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Может, мне надо найти себе хобби.
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
Серьезно? Оно сработало, что я ношу перчатки? Спасибо за помощь.
The lieutenant nods.
Ладно, идем.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Guillaume Le Million.
Guillaume Le Million.
Bad news. Guillaume Le Million did not become a cop. In 38, he went on a tour to the Sinyao province in Safre, where he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. His body was found hanging from a decorative dragon tree in his junior suite amid drug paraphernalia, unwholesome objects, and the Sylvia Trainer single, Wonderland, skipping in the background. And yes, you can take this as a metaphor for Revachol in the 30s, and also as a warning.
Big Goes Hard. Да, конечно, с артистической стороны игра поражает такими картинками. Один болевой порог. Кислород в крови, какая скука. Психика, лимит всех навыков повышается на 1. Класс. Только приемник, белый траур. Да, мне нужен опыт для того, чтобы усвоить их. Окей. Надо еще что-то поискать. Что мы имеем дальше? Это в конце дня. Знаете, кто входит в эту ячейку профсоюза? Карт рассказал вам, что какие-то убойные члены профсоюза собираются в обеденном зале танцев в трепье. Сегодня их нет, но скорее всего рано или поздно появится, нужно только подождать. Понял. Реально я зануда. Я делаю все нормально. Не надо, что вы любите пить, курить, как вы, и драться с челами. Да, у меня замакшена логика. Потому что я хочу думать, а не решать проблемы кулаками. В народе зазнай чувство. Слушай меня ты. Я просто хороший коп. Сложил одежду в мусор. Одежда жертвы лежала в мусорном баке на заднем дворе, аккуратно сложенная. Кто и зачем мог ее туда положить? Ключ должен быть только у персонала танцев. Спросить Куна, знает ли он что-нибудь о том, как одежда жертвы попала в мусор. Спросить Гарта, что он знает о том, как одежда жертвы оказалась в мусоре. Я считаю, спросить у Куна это самая лучшая идея. Он самый разговорчивый парень. Че он меня еще раз пошлет в жопу крайне грязными словами.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Че, еще раз поговорить с тобой о теле Куна.
The fuck about it?
Нет, тут ничего нет.
Your test. Get lost.
Спасибо. Вопрос. Место преступления.
The kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it?
Я просто буду вас игнорировать, я не буду с вами разговаривать. Вы неприятные, противные, злые люди. Одежда покойного была в мусорном баке. Как она туда попала?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
Мне нужно знать, вдруг это зацепка расследования. Возможно, кто-то поменял что-то на месте преступления.
Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Послушаем, чем так хороши эти штаны.
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
Он растягивает куртку и дает быстро глянуть на завернутые в полиэтилен треники угольно-черного цвета, на вид новые.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. They will also make you into an idiot.
Понял. Погоди, вопрос был о том, что случилось с его одеждой. Должен же ты был видео тут видеть.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around, except for that up there. Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
Может, меня интересуют эти штаны, вернемся к этому позже.
All right, Pico, shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now.
Может, на баке еще была кружка.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
Связана ли с ними эта российская кружка?
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
Именно кто-то химичил на месте преступления, прибирался тут.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face.
Тут еще могут быть еще вопросы.
whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Я пойду.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
Да. Быдло. Чё мне качать, блин? Энциклопедию дальше. А что дает уровень? Вот что если я прокачаю уровень? Что он мне даст? Если я повышу уровень, что это дает? Ага. А что мне стоит прокачать? Есть мысли. Выкачивать по энциклопедию безостановочно. Я думаю, мне нужна логика. Да, я прокачаю логику, я буду думать. Я буду думать. Так. Сетьгард. У меня вроде как... У меня сейчас есть очко навыков? Или я его только что потратил? Не, у меня еще есть одно очко. Так. Разблокировать. Так, белый траур. Только приемник. Я выбираю белый траур. Видишь самого себя сверху, ты отрубился на синих плитках пола в гостиничном номере. Даже с такого расстояния ты видишь, как дрожат у тебя веки при упоминании чего. Романный белый объект, спускающий сладкий запах, словно ландыш. Маленький человек забыл свое имя, не помнит свои чувства. И дико, он шевелится. Чувство привело его в движение. Он машинально тянется за лучшим другом своего чувства, бутылкой красного командора. Он надевает свое диско-наряд и становится все меньше и меньше. Слоем. Так. Купить треники фаун. Ага. Поговорить с богачом. Катушку с грустной песней. Засраться и Киму. О, надо этим заняться. Надо уже продвигать немного дела, а то мы тут о себе все исследуем. Надо все-таки чем-то заняться.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Взять рацию.
The frequency tableau lights up, and the green button labeled Prime Line glows like a feline eye. And then you hear something. The soft purr of electrical kittens, radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here. I'm putting him on.
Operating the radio is easy. Just be confident. You've probably done it 1,000 times.
Привет, Алиса, я офицер из 41-го участка, приятно познакомиться.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Under the green prime line, a yellow saved button catches your eye. You wonder what the lieutenant's default radio station is.
Мне нужно поговорить с одной гражданкой Силии, возможно, она сообщила об убийстве.
Of course. What is her number, officer?
Имгард дал тебе номер Сильвии?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Да, графика в игре прикольная. И картинки тоже классные.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Или его ждем.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello?
Детектив станции. Здравствуйте, полиция. У меня есть пара вопросов по поводу последних ваших дней на работе.
Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
Больше станций, почему?
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Why not?
Почему вам не хотелось бы со мной это обсуждать?
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone.
Вы ушли из Агарта?
What? would you even think that?
Он сказал, что пригласил вас на свидание. Не приглашал?
Please, don't bring Gar into this. It's none of your business.
God,
Все узнаю.
why can't you just mind your own business? She mutters.
Я все
I
узнаю.
already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again.
Ой, нытик. Полицию вызывали вы?
No, not me.
Кто звонил?
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Вас не смущал труп на заднем дворе? Почему вы не позвонили?
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the court.
Я про нас надо было вызвать полицию.
No one calls the police. The Union would get angry.
В
You
смысле?
know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Стоп, Ким. Она говорит правду? Закон здесь профсоюз?
Legally, no. In reality, yes. Martinez is de facto policed by the Dock Workers Union.
Объяснить, почему... Почему вы допустили, чтобы труп столько времени провисел на заднем дворе, вместо того, чтобы вызвать нас?
I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Не плакать.
Push her further. Show her the error of her ways.
Каких проблем?
The other people who live around here. Local people,
Oh,
you don't
ладно.
live here. You don't understand. Squealing is frowned upon here. Everything is dealt with, well, by the Union, internally. Please, I just didn't want any trouble.
Не волнуйтесь.
You do? What else can I do for you?
Следующий вопрос.
Yeah, go on.
Знаете, кто сунул одежду жертвы в мусор?
No, I don't know. It wasn't me. I haven't been out there since. I was terrified of the stench and the corpse.
Знаете, как мои бумаги оказались в мусорном баке за танцами?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it. I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective?
Ой, это все.
I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Пока, Сильвия.
You hear the call breaking up on the other end of the radio, and then the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Соедини меня с 41-м участком.
Just a second, officer.
Ten 2, 10-5. This is 41st commune, over.
The man uses relay code. You've got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code.
10-4, участок 41, у меня срочное дело, прием.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. What's your status, over.
Просто докладываюсь, прием.
10-18, state your message, sir.
Блять, надо ли говорить о своем удостоверении? Меня же нахуй уволят. Это я не буду говорить о своем удостоверении, потому что я думаю, оно у меня находится в куртке, которая висит наверху здания. Что нет, наверное, пока я не буду с ним разговаривать.
Roger that, 10-10. Over and out.
Выдвинуть ящик с инструментами.
A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work.
Пока нам ничего из этого не нужно.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
Так, хорошо. О, можно теперь зайти на кухню. В шелке стоит посуда, она пахнет моющим средством и хвоей. Воздух наполнен ароматами специй, алкоголя и помидоров.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please, it's not funny.
Я могу задать вам пару вопросов?
The man puts his cup down and
Garancy
writes
Kubek.
something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Впечатляющие кастрюли.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Кажется, больше мне ничего не нужно оставить. Оставайтесь маскулинным. Ага.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Интересно, куда ведет эта дверь?
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
The winch, outside, in the backyard. Remember? No? Your fingers do.
Снаружи на крыше был подъемник, как от маленького лифта.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
Стороннее мини-расследование.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Хорошо. Гард.
Can I help you?
Вот твой ключ от мусорного бака.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Я нашел шмотки покойного.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Кто-нибудь из твоих сотрудников мог их туда выбросить?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
У кого еще есть ключи от бака?
The trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Давай о чем-нибудь другом.
Yes.
Гард, я увидел в танцах еще кое-что.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Он вообще со мной не хочет работать, он меня ненавидит. Сейчас на кухне есть таинственная стальная синяя дверь.
Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Знаешь, что за него у тебя есть?
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably.
Туда надо попасть.
Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Мне кажется, тебе интересно, что за той дверью.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes?
До свидания. Может быть, с Кимом стоит сходить на второй этаж? Может быть, мы что-то сможем новое узнать? Так. Ну что это за дверь? Закрыто. На то, с Кимом делать нефиг. И старается не смотреть на сломанную дверь в ванную.
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor.
Извини за все вот это. Блядь, стариков нет.
No problem, officer.
Сука, нет.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
21:00. Я еще не могу открыть эту дверь? Нет. Окей, ничего мы не можем здесь узнать. Что у нас там? Продолжать искать звонившего, на этом уже потребовалось некоторое время. Ага. У кого еще есть несанкционированный доступ к мусору танцев? Найдите этого человека, вы узнаете, кто подтасовал улики на место преступления. Потому что все некоторое время. Понял. Кстати, потайные коридоры танцев. В танцах есть странные двери, никто не знает, куда они ведут. Найдите способ открыть их и узнайте, что скрывается в заброшенных уголках отеля с кафетерием. Найдите вход в потайной коридор. Может, к подруге сходить?
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
Зачем ты так со мной? Пожалуйста, не
The
надо.
door is mute and indifferent. Still no answer. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance.
Трогать ручку.
This door can only be opened with a key or from...
Лаки. Так. Я очень заинтересован в той двери. Вроде подруга знает что-нибудь о двери.
Hello again, sweetie.
Первые два варианта всегда хороши. Не, она ничего не знает тоже. Отличная гифка. Спасибо за это. Куда надо зайти, я думаю? Вот и роза, десятки роз, а еще тюльпаны. Вроде играет меланхоличная попса.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
Кто такой Сан-Батист?
Saint Baptiste, you know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals, the one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from Saint Baptiste, the city. Itself so named because that's what it is. A rare case where that really is the full etymological history. As far as almost anyone knows, at least.
Зафет, драмин, ебать. 3 здоровья. Боевой дух. Для чего эти препараты?
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is... I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
Все за разъяснение.
Uh-huh.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Что это за аппарат?
Oh, that's the tear machine.
Нет, ну что он собой представляет?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
Ясно, как собирать эту тару?
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so... Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there.
Все это очень здорово. Мне нужен 3-минутный перерыв. Сейчас вернусь. С богом, если я слышу еще одну шутку про пиво, я кого-нибудь убью.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big fritta slogan on the back. The packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
Что это?
What is what? It's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Она постукивает по витрине, дождевики терпеливо ждут, чтобы их купили.
Her attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected will now be more difficult. You see several packaged raincoats filled. A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak.
Чего не говорить, просто любоваться.
The beauty, the truth, the poetry of it all.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health, but I guess you already know that.
Мне вся эта информация не нужна, подруга.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
Что это за журнал?
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
Мне нравится, довольно футуристично.
She pops her raspberry-flavored bubblegum and nods. Her shoulders tense. She shuffles back only slightly. Bewilderment and repulsion root her in place. The lieutenant frowns at you before turning to the clerk with an apologetic half-smile.
Прежде чем мы продолжим, что такое фрита?
I don't know. Frit?
Что такое фрита? Почему в задании 3 буквы Т?
I think they think that the extra T makes it funkier. It doesn't.
The story goes that normal fritta with 2 T's, a men's workwear shop in Vredefort, was already taken. So when Fritta Retail Inc. grew into a multinational corporation, they had to add an extra letter to avoid trademark infringement.
Продолжим. У меня к тебе есть вопрос.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Привет, есть склад позади танцев-терапии?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Это важно.
She scrunches up her face into an expression of consummate adolescent skepticism.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Можешь нам рассказать о трупе?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
Давно он там?
I don't know, really long.
Что по-твоему произошло?
I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Знала покойного?
Not really.
То есть немного знала?
No. I didn't know him at all.
Спасибо.
Uh-huh.
Скажи, можешь что-нибудь рассказать о той реальности, в которой мы находимся?
Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or...?
She is like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher. Can she answer the classroom question?
Расскажи мне о экономической реальности.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15.
Что насчет физической реальности?
I don't know. What about it?
Алиса, что это? Вы сказали, что есть такая?
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article. Cool.
Бесполезно, абсолютно бесполезно. Что мы можем еще сделать?
This Postlavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front. A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant.
Хороший ящик. Я правда погладил.
The box seems happy.
Ящик выглядит довольным.
Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
Я хорошо понимаю почтовый ящик.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
Я погладил ящичек. Из-за какого-то сильного тектонического воздействия тротуар треснул, словно яичная скорлупа.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
И буду его пинать. Не его. Нет.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Я сломал этот платный бинокль, теперь он не работает. Воздух наполняет оживленный щебет и крики ласточек. Следы шин, практически уничтоженные дождем и мокрым снегом, ведут на крышу. Трение фонтанов, вода больше не подается, теперь у него растет дерево. Понял. Что вы у нас кто такие?
Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to angry old René first.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
Давайте как надо.
You are immediately surprised by the bull's lack of weight. No matter. You'll make it work.
Почувствовать
The
шар.
cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready.
Шаровек. Смотрите окружение.
A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
Еще есть время, чтобы заглянуть внутрь себя, кто я такой.
An embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency.
Нерсу нельзя удержать, как нельзя удержать выпущенную из ствола пулю. Отпускай, стань пулей. Женя! Привет.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit? It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters. Probably 24, and then some. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Нормально, нормально. Даже хорошо.
What the hell is your problem?
Уж точно не слабый правый трицепс.
I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful.
Извини.
You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull.
Я думал, мы толкаем ядро.
Well, it damn well isn't. It's pétanque. You ruined a pétanque game. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
Я постараюсь все исправить.
Good. Mistakes are forgiven when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
Yes, why did you come here? It's unlikely they know anything about the murder. You never know. He might know something. This is a good vantage point.
Знаешь что-нибудь о повешенном на заднем дворе танцев тряпье?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
Что такое с большинством местных?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
У тебя, значит, нет проблем с копами.
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
А что насчет сотрудниц?
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties.
Говорю же о том, что они держат в чистоте участок и радуют взгляд мужчин. Нет, 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 нет. Нет такой работы, которую они могли бы выполнить женщины РГ.
But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer? No reason to even feel bad about that. It's just the way of the animal kingdom.
Похоже, играете в воронки.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Знаешь, как она образовалась?
I do. Fire from heavy artillery.
Понятно, значит, воронка от артиллерийских снарядов. Но почему?
Why what?
Почему применили тяжелую артиллерию?
Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Погоди, а кто, значит, такие эти коммунары?
Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
Это вы применили против них артиллерию?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Зачем утюжить их здесь, в Мартинесе?
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
Плацдарм?
Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Сильный удар звучит мрачно.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
VOD коалиция.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil.
Это объясняет такие повреждения.
Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
Тело социалиста прокладывал бы для крепкого рабочего класса.
Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking my piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
Кто был этот Фриссель?
Damn Frissell. He was a king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
Говорил о Гийоме.
True king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frissell. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guillaume abandoned him, and he doesn't want to admit it.
Кто этот Сузерен?
The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Благодарю за беседу.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
Ты знаешь о мертвеце?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Наверняка ты что-то слышал.
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
Может, ты все-таки что-то не договариваешь.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
Кто такой этот враг, которого ты знаешь?
Evrard Claire. Everyone in Martinez knows the Claire brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history, only heard about it years later when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble statue.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Состоишь в профсоюзе?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debardeurs all know me.
В каком-то смысле?
Oh, yes.
На самом деле, членства у тебя нет.
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your and Renee's eye. He doesn't know anything, because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weathervane. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate this socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Какие мелочи ты делаешь для Эврара?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
Что ты для него пишешь?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I have these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Ты самый корный социалист?
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer.
Ну ты же должен верить хоть во что-то, в свободу людей, в ревошоль, в деньги, наконец.
I believe everyone has the right to think and do whatever they want, even if it's nothing at all. I'm very adaptable.
Понятно, он бесхребетный чел. Ничего не думает.
Mon Dieu.
Спасибо, пока что это все.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Это пока все. Круто играю, спасибо. Постараюсь. На обложке изображен очень мускулистый мужчина, объятый языками пламени. Обложка этой книги роза, пистолет и полуобнаженная дама. Книга про паштеты. Эта книга не очень понятна, о чем она. Да, это не имеет значения. Книга о культуре Баядейра. Мне говорится о свободе способности идти против течения. Книга про будущее. О том, как правительство читает твои мысли с помощью радиотехнологий. Нифигово.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
Комната я. Ну, здравствуй.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
Что это за магазин?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Books? Postcards? Easy. Even a kid would know all of this.
Не читать девочке лекцию.
Don't be a fool. As an expert, it's your duty to tell what you know to everyone.
Я уже принял решение.
Sir, are you okay? You've been standing here silently for a while now.
Энциклопедия пошла против меня. Можно задать тебе несколько вопросов?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
Тебя зовут?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
Почему ты стоишь здесь на холоде?
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Лачина.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store.
Не надо в школу ходить.
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Ходить в школу ведь важнее, чем это.
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
Как идут дела?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Проклято-то как?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
Банкроты?
Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
Все звучит довольно серьезно, да. Наверное, мне стоит этим заняться.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more to look into here.
Yes. Please do also look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games are there, sir.
Что ты знаешь о других разорившихся заведениях?
Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
В чем проявляется это проклятие?
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather.
Хорошо, я тебе покажу.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
Хватит это проклятие пока что.
Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead.
Что еще за
Crime
детективы?
fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Понимаю, преступление убийства притягивает людей.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is or how the good guys are going to catch him.
Кстати, я и сам полицейский.
You don't look much like a policeman.
Как по-твоему, должен выглядеть полицейский?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Сука. Я не сори, коп, перестань. Я думал о четвертом варианте. Тело не так уж важно.
Head. Yes.
No, your mind. Not head, child. Heads.
Гибкость вокруг миллиона разных людей, и тебе нужно каждому залезть в голову. Иногда, чтобы поймать убийцу, нужно самому быть как убийца.
Isn't that very dangerous?
Полицейские дышат и живут опасностью, девочка. Малена явно не хватает таланта хамелеона.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
Сейчас я что-нибудь надедуцирую.
You fell to
Бля, 90%, сука!
She waits intently.
Я не хочу в это верить. 92%. У меня ничего не получается. Это
Come on,
девочка.
anyone would notice that.
Сука. Что такое роман?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
Бывает, что бедный мужчина встретил богатую
It
женщину.
happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something. Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
Если оба мужчины плохие.
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
То есть история будет написана очень хорошо.
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
Сейчас все будут бедными.
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Надо уже писать и о настоящей жизни.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
Неправда. Есть такие книги, где мужские и женские дела вообще не ладятся.
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Может, спрошу.
I'm sure she can help out. Anything else you're curious about?
Хватит
Maybe
романов.
some about other books?
Можешь назвать меня сэром, я просто рабочий человек.
No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though.
Хотя понимаю, я сам, например, никак не могу перестать корчить эту рожу.
That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
Кто такие эти знаменитости?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Читать книги о знаменитостях, то самому знаменитому не стать, верно?
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Больше славы, это здорово. Может быть, его них тоже когда-нибудь напишут книгу.
Why would they do that, sir?
Потому что я буду копом суперзвездой. Про меня пишут газеты и все такое прочее. Вот это они узнают.
That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
Ой, я могу еще раз это сделать? Давай.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Слушай, а почему ты все время прячешь руки?
What do you mean, sir?
Не бойся, хочу помочь тебе.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She does. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest.
Все хорошо.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
Да, я так я сижу, я сам не понимаю, зачем я этим занимаюсь, но мне хочется поговорить с ребенком о романах. Грызешь ногти.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
Были другие связи. Да.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Хочешь еще могу поспорить, что смогу догадаться, почему ты грызешь ногти. У меня есть несколько предположений.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Смотришь на свою маму, на то, как она на тебя давит.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Ну, где ж ногти развлечь?
It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
Так думаешь, тогда давай сама сделай какой-нибудь вывод обо мне. Покажи мне, как надо.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Почему ты решила, что обычно не так?
Because you usually aren't.
Почему у меня грустная голова болит?
I'm sorry, sir. I hope things get better soon.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar. There's something you're missing.
Без шансов. Зайдем к ее маме. Чем я занимаюсь? Что я делаю? Подарочные изделия, потаившие конфеты. Здорово. В темном углу запрятаны старые спортивные журналы. Сборник рецептов национальной кухни Арда. Во всех рецептах используется озерная форель.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Книги на полке.
Rows and rows of Hyundai men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hyundai and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hyundai, Return to Hyundai. And the solipsistic Man from Hyundai and the Hyundai Man.
Что, право, сколько же их?
Maybe 100. Man from Hyundai and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Hyundai and the false god. Man from Hyundai and the scorched earth. Man from Hyundai, the Hyundai colonies. Man from Hyundai and the swamp beast. Man from Hyundai and the snow crabs.
Это все?
Not even close. Man from Hyundai in hell. Man from Hyundai and the forest of slaves. Man from Hyundai under the lake. Man from Hyundai, Hyundai burning. There's even the Trial of Death, a pastoral combat gamebook set in the world of Hyundai Man, and so much more.
Привлекает ли меня какая-то из этих книг?
Nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation.
Скажите о книгах про этого культуриста.
Oh, Man from Hjelmdal. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Почему они так популярны?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Вот меня такое интересует.
At last, someone sensible. However, I still urge you to buy one. Can't judge a book by the cover, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hjelmdalaman, The Man from Hjelmdal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Спасибо. Ладно, нет, мы сейчас с ней поговорим, и после этого решаем вопросы.
Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Her face looks powdery and painted from all the makeup.
Магазин принадлежит вам?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Это ваша дочь стоит у входа в магазин?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Да, конечно.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Да.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
10.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
Понял, она боится держаться молодцом, но на деле ей нелегко. Вы в курсе, что она грызет ногти?
God. I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
Вряд ли она может с этим что-то поделать.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life...
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
Так и есть, это, несомненно, диктует рынок, но может для дочки стоит сделать исключение.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without she's looking for one, but there simply aren't any good arguments for being an asshole.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
Она сказала, что перестала ходить в школу.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I, of all people, understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Ваш муж тоже занимается магазином?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Super silent, almost inaudibly so.
Но есть ребенок в семье?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
У меня еще есть дела.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Счастливо оставаться. Ладно, дочку засейвили нормально. А тут у нас что?
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Смотри, странную безделушку в видеоклетке.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
Вот такие семенинцы.
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Уважаемая, а что за занавеска?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Распахнуть занавески.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Дело в проклятии, то вы боитесь?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Другое дело, полицейским туда нужно.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
Это место зовет меня. Я должен знать, что за
You
порогом.
do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
Хорошо, я еще подумаю.
Let's just talk about this first, all right? There's no reason for you to venture into the unknown.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if...
Ну, давай поговорим про занавески.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
В чем у вас так волнуют эти занавески? Я просто хочу знать, что за ними.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of. She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't slept in half yet.
Это просто коловко, почему вы так нервничаете.
I'm not tense, I'm just... Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
В чем проявляется это проклятие?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Она говорила, при предыдущих кандидатах возникли проблемы с финансами.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Почему не сразу скажешь, что дело в проклятии?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
Обращались за помощью?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Может, кулон тоже оберег?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
Если займусь этим делом, проведу расследование, выясню, существует ли проклятие на самом деле.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Подруга, духов не существует, пойми.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Бейте, разрешите осмотр проклятой торговой зоны.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Я здесь, чтобы помочь вам, мне уже доводилось работать с натуральными явлениями.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
Возвратился из бездны, про детектив из старинного рода, про детективов.
You're no para-detective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one. The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
Слово спирта спиритически, похоже, не случайно. Алкоголь открывает мне доступ к бездне потустороннего.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
Привели сюда ваши обереги. В моих жилах тоже течет семенинская кровь.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Как же я ей лапшу на уши вешаю. И она верит.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Даже не беспокойтесь, ваше небезопасность призраком со мной не совладать. Простите моего напарника Кима, он поручится за меня.
Certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Клянусь честью.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Конечно же, сущность. Ты закрываешь глаза. Ведь я ощутил ее присутствие.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Дымоход, ну конечно, то, что соединяет небеса и преисподнюю.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Мне остается еще вопрос насчет проклятия.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
И ничего.
The woman looks aloof. Her features.
Так, хорошо. Это еще все исследовать можно. Главная иллюстрированная брошюра очень цветастая. Это трактат о магии фашистов. Довольно откровенно. Еще одна скучная книга. Кто-то бросил ее здесь.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Смотреть на карту Ревашола.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
Что к западу от реки?
Hudon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
Martinez?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
Ладно. Короче, я понял, тут просто... Ну, подожди-ка. Была мысль. Здесь что самое интересное в фашистах — это их магия. Ладно.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Раздвину занавеску.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Резенцы в ужасе издает тихий скрик, изо всех сил стараясь отвести взгляд и закрывая круглое лицо ладонями. У меня такой вопрос, а я должен решить как бы убийство повешенного чела за один день? Или я могу растянуть это на пару дней? Я в тайминге как-то успеваю? Отлично. А то я смотрю все на время и думаю, я сейчас немного времени, я проебусь. Клеточные силуэты сушилок для волос. Слегка андрогинный портрет мужчины. Ага. Как на этом плакате похож на Гийома Лемийона. Просто симулятор жизни, понял. Делай, что хочешь. Окей. Хранимся.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Стучать.
Only an echo. No one is there. A hollowed out, dark echo. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
К двери войти. Я ничего не боюсь. Ебать. Спортзал. Кружки сыпаются песчинки. Кинсон хочет поговорить?
What is this place?
Похоже на тренажерный зал.
Yes, but no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. We should find a flashlight if we want to go on. There should be one in my kinema.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Давай сходим за
The
фонариком.
lieutenant nods.
Так, окей, фонарик. Сейчас я уйду, дверь открытая, и что случится? Или нет?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks
Фонарик
into
с динамо
place.
машины.
The tool is robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox.
Как его экипировать? Во! Вот это я заряжен. Прикольно, что оно моей рукой управляется. Надпись на плакате. Ситиос Фортис. Остальное нечитаемо. Давшая виды гимнастическая стена. Выглядит небезопасно. Пахнет кожей и потом. Ядро. Ядро. Так. Время показать силушку богатырскую.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Легендарно. Я не справлюсь. Им осторожно ловушку, блин, не закреплены на штаны. На штанге, блять, штаны. Ой.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Же надо быть ублюдком, чтобы снять зажимы со штанги. Да за такое сажать надо.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Что-нибудь еще здесь есть? Не. Проход в коридоре завален старыми конными рамами и мусором. Понял. С темноты на тебя смотрит дикое животное. Чучело на подставках. Огромная бутыль с заполненной иностранной жидкостью. Понял. Области воздушных винтов, покрытые паутиной, напоминают лезвие. Так, криповое место. Ножный торс манекена странного желтого цвета. Денежки. Отлично.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Смотреть рисунки.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin.
Нет.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Посмотреть Фельфа. Это кажется важным.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin. Green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Что это существо? Кто их нарисовал? Они действительно существуют? У меня так много вопросов.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Кого тратить на это столько времени?
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
Один из Фельфов сторонник теории расового превосходства.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard too.
Ну что ж, это было очень отдельно. Закончим на этом.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
Смотрим на фотографии.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Я, правда, я уже не следую за информацией, которую мне говорят. Фельвы, вельвы, гнорглы, я уже просто, я ничего не понимаю.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Что же произошло?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Смотреть заметки.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. The full text reads, "Heat Death of the Universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s.
Хорошо. В блокнотном листе накорябано: разработчики самый крутой RPG во вселенной.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Откуда я знаю, как должна выглядеть кедранская мозаика?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
Что это такое?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Радиочастоты для чего?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Мы имеем дело с медициной.
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled The Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap.
Так кто такой этот мастер игры?
Someone very important.
Они мне сейчас будут объяснять, что такое D&D?
A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
На этом чердаке сидели ролевики. Нет. Это база ролевиков. Это игра, то кто в нее играет.
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Ага, одна только выделенная полоса частоты наверняка стоит огромных денег.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Что еще прищуриться посмотреть на линию?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Так. Что вот это такое у нас?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Ты можешь отключить машину?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Так, подожди, может быть мы найдем какую-нибудь информацию о ней. Опа, была мысль. Где же одежда, которая была на нем? А, это про манекен. Окей. Мягкий синий бархат, побитый молью. Денежки. Пара лыж, надпись на покрытии. Слипстрим. Долговой блок памяти. Производственный график. Двойной лопасти винта с логотипом Slipstream. Мы можем что-нибудь с ней сделать еще?
The dusty radio computer.
Ладно, давай зайдем тогда в дверь. Немного магния. Ветер слоем задувает из расположенного выше желоба для угля. То есть, боком, если я увижу призрака, я умру. Стена обрушилась, я здесь не пройти. Ага. Провода ведут к этой штуке. Небезопасно.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Им что, это котел отопления?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
Ким, я не уверен, но кажется, я слышал, как наверху кто-то разговаривает.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Крикнуть. Ну чего, явно не стоит. Измазать руки сажей? Особого смысла в этом я не вижу. Машина для производства мороженого. Отключена от сети и разморожена. Эти фонарика проявляют странная тень. Здесь есть дверь. Угу. Как нам туда пройти? Вот так. Отлично. Другой спрятаны две ржавые винтовки. На вид нерабочие. Винтовки? За потолком кто-то припрятал сломанное оружие. Угу.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Еще что, осмотреть потайную комнату.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Это дыра в стене.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Почему бы и нет?
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Смотрите винтовки.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
Выглядит неплохо.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
Кто-то оставил здесь винтовку. Что это значит?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Здорово. Могу взять в руки. Жаль. Узловой блок памяти. И ядро. Светится? А может, я их могу? А я могу заметить их с кружкой, ебать.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
А сколько тут всего вывести можно немало.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Это кружка, яркий пример стереотипов.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case, detective.
Ничего, мой голос не понимает. Сколько все это важно. Да ведут провода, а вот. Наверное, машина для производства мороженого все еще работает. Здорово. Вот это такой электрический щиток. Безумная майка в сеточку. А ну-ка. С одна драма. О боже. О боже. Прелестно.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Включить красный кабель.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Так, я отключил этот холодильник, по идее. Или нет?
You see the looming shadow of an ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is slightly open. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Что это похоже на огромного белого медведя?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes glued to the animal. It's dark inside its mysterious belly compartment.
Скрыть крышку.
A faint waft of cold air rolls out. You hear the sound of dripping water. This is the inside of a defrosting refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Взглянуть в холодильник.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Записку с дверцы.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Получите упаковку от мороженого.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Откуда вообще в заброшенном подвале взялся огромный холодильник в виде белого медведя?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
То есть они пытались продавать мороженое прямо из этого киберхищника?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
По-моему, офигенная идея. Из огромного медведя брать мороженое, по-моему, супер круто. Я бы купил.
At least it's not running them a loss anymore, now that you've unplugged the cable.
The fridge sits empty before you, an overindulgent wardrobe, now that the cooling systems aren't active.
И теперь... Ага, я счета за электричество уменьшил. Отлично. Значит, надо еще и черный вырвать провод.
Only the black cable is plugged into the breaker box, while something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Сука, какие варианты очень сложные. Я не знаю, что сказать на это. Игра меня просто загнала в тупик только что. Потому что он цвета безмерного космоса.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Я отключил его вообще-то для того, чтобы отключить машину мороженого, чтобы она не тратила электричество. А не то, что... Не то, что как будто они там мне предложили. А, нифига. Что это получается? Получается, тут нифига нету. Еще можно пробовать с этой штукой поработать.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Пнуть котел.
A hollow ring goes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
Попытка была. Я не знаю, на что я надеялся, но я попытался.
The dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame.
The
machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
Сдох от удара по котлу. Бесславная смерть.
The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Ставить производственный график.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Нажать восп.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Что такое производственный график?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
А, ну да.
That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core?
Да.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
Это полиция раскрутит эту штуку.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for trace accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
Я не знаю пароль.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Чего вы назвали меня Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Скажи еще что-нибудь об этой компании.
One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
Что это такое? Интерактивные радиоигры с функцией дозвона.
Any other questions?
Кто, машина или человек?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
Хорошо, но кто вы такая, откуда вы знаете, где я?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios. Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
Пробуем?
Good. Please repeat. Received.
Don't worry.
Fortress thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys. Nothing happens.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Очередная обанкротившая фирма. Вопрос только в том, что за хрень они производили.
Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Как думаешь, что случилось с этой компанией?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Они собираются это сделать?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
А никто-нибудь уже делал такое?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
Это была ролевая игра.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
Ого.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
Безумно полагаю, что ему удастся поймать такое.
Yes, especially in here. Okay, let's keep moving.
Пароль. Пароля у нас нету. А еще здесь никакого призрака тоже нету.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
Я не понимаю.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
Кстати, вопрос, с чего они начинали и на что переключились.
That's a good question.
Странный скачок воображения. Увы, в конце концов, у них так ничего и не вышло. Жаль.
Reality is ruthless.
Реальность безжалостна. Написана в руке записка, найдена в огромном холодильнике в виде белого медведя. На ней до сих пор сохранилось следы от магнитиков, которыми они крепились к двери холодильника.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
Есть ли предложение по поводу того, где может быть эта замерзшая машина для производства мороженого?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Ясно, кто написал эту записку.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Может быть, они уходили спешно.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Помни-ка мне, что такое сдаватель
It
памяти.
belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Прям отрежешь шкет, кто это?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
Ты про Куну?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Так, получается, у нас в подвале что-то все-таки есть. А ну-ка. Холодильник. Он был не интерактивным. Так какого ж хрена? Сейчас оно должно где-то.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Вот скрыть машину, крышку.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time.
I have a pry bar in my kinema, in case you want to try again. Though it might be that my pry bar isn't strong enough for that lid.
Повернуть ручку.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water.
Может быть, стоит ее включить?
Both cables are on. Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current, happy and contented. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Метод улучшения повышается до 5, спид дает 1 пси. Ну-ка, дорога домой. Здорово.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. You slip your fingers under the No.
I have a pry bar in my kinema.
Turning the crank.
Монтировка. Какая-то крутая монтировка нужна. У нас нет крутой монтировки. Это способ проникнуть в дымоход. И надо найти буль, которую я выкинул.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out, a metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The pull-out toolbox slides.
Разок попробую, если не получится, то как бы все. Итак.
Yes?
Не с тобой.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old. You slip your finger. No. If you want to try again, then you need to have the.
Equip the pry bar.
Точно. Это имеет смысл.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an.
Нет, это не варик. Это не варик. Ну да, надо будет подумать, как вскрыть эту штуку. А на этом все, как бы. Ой, пора бы уже заканчивать. Очень интересно, ничего не понятно. Ой, будем разбираться в следующий раз. Так что да, спасибо за просмотр. Увидимся в следующий раз. И пока-пока.
Thank you.